Hello learners, welcome to Drishti CUET undergraduate program and this is your mentor Shashank welcoming you all in today's session. So learners, last session we did National Movement Part 2 and in today's session I will be discussing with you the National Movement Part 3. So in National Movement guys Part 3 we will start our discussion with the Simon Commission. So in National Movement Part 3 I will be discussing with you the first topic, that is Simon Commission, that was constituted in year 1927 and came India in year 1928. Therefore I have written 1927 1928 because it was constituted in year 1927, constituted in year 1927 and came India in year 1928. So constituted in 1927, came India in year 1928, and this was being constituted during the time of Lord Irwin. So it was constituted during the time of Lord Irwin, and Lord Irwin time period is 1926 to 1931. So from 1926 to 1931, that is the time period of Lord Irwin, and during this time period Simon Commission was constituted. And why guys it was called Simon Commission? Because the chairman of this commission was Sir John Simon and the official name of this commission was Indian Statutory Commission. So this was official name of the commission. So official name of the commission was Indian Statutory Commission and it was popularly known as Simon Commission because it was the chairman of this commission was Sir John Simon. So chairman of this commission was Sir John Simon and it was total 7-member commission, out of which 1 will be the chairman and 6 will be the other members. So 1 will be the chairman and the chairman was Sir John Simon and 6 were other members, and all these members were British. All these members were British. None of the Indians, they were members of Simon Commission. So none of the Indians were member of this commission. Therefore guys, the Simon Commission was also known as All White Men Commission. So the Simon Commission was also known as All White Men Commission. So Simon Commission, that was popularly known as All White Men Commission because none of the Indians, they were allowed to be member of this commission. So I hope guys, is that clear to all of you? Now what was the purpose of this commission? So now what was the purpose of this commission? Why this commission was constituted? First of all guys, the purpose of this commission was to review the Government of India Act 1919, and this 1919, it is also known as Montagu-Chelmsford Report. So the objective was to review the Government of India Act 1919, that is called Montagu-Chelmsford Report, and in this Montagu-Chelmsford Report it was being discussed, said that after 10 years this report will be evaluated. So after 10 years this report will be evaluated. And who was Montagu, who was Chelmsford? Montagu was the Secretary of State. Montagu was Secretary of State and Chelmsford was Viceroy of India. So Montagu was the Secretary of State and Chelmsford was the Viceroy of India. And other than this, they wanted to, so the next objective was to suggest the constitutional reforms, because guys, after 1928 when the Nehru report was submitted, and this Nehru report was constituted by, or it was prepared by Pandit Motilal Nehru, father of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, and through this Nehru report, the Indians proved that they have the capacity, they have the ability to frame the constitution of their own. So demand of framing of constitution was increased. So by 1928, when this commission actually came, so they wanted to suggest the constitutional reforms because the demand of creation of the constitution of India at that point of time was increased, and through Nehru report we proved, the Indians proved that they have the capacity to frame the constitution of India, and they wanted to suggest the constitutional reforms, and their main objective was to suggest the constitutional reforms which was more suited to the British rather than suited for Indians. So they wanted to suggest the constitutional reforms which was more suited to British. Therefore, guys, they wanted such reforms that suits more to British rather than Indians. So rather than Indians. So they wanted to suggest such reforms that suits more to British rather than Indians. Therefore, on advice of Lord Irwin, Indians were kept away. Therefore, on advice of Lord Irwin, Indians were kept away. So, on advice of Lord Irwin, the Indians they were kept away from the commission. So, that was the main objective. Now, guys, when this commission came, why Indians started opposing? You Indians started opposing because none of the Indians they were included in commission. So, why Indians opposed? The reason is simple: कि no Indians were included, and they were not included. Why? Just on the advice of Lord Irwin, because Lord Irwin wanted that such a constitution should be framed for Indians. Such a constitution should be framed for Indians which should suit more to the British, less to the Indians, so that the grip of the British should be on Indians. So therefore the Indians they were not being included. Now guys, what happened? Now whenever the Simon Commission went, Simon Commission was shown black flag, that was the symbol of protest. So wherever Simon Commission went in any part of India, they were shown black flag as the symbol of protest. Now what happened, my dear learners? The main event happened on 30th October 1928. Now guys, this Simon Commission arrived in Lahore. So Simon Commission arrived in Lahore, and when it was arrived in Lahore, guys, there was a mob which was being led by, Lala Lajpat Rai, and they were protesting against Simon Commission. So there was a mob who was protesting against Simon Commission. Simon Commission, and they were raising the slogan Simon go back. Simon go back. This was the slogan that was being raised, and this slogan was coined by Yusuf Meher Ali. So this slogan was coined by Yusuf Meher Ali. So this slogan was coined by Yusuf Meher Ali. So the mob was protesting, and that was led by Lala Lajpat Rai. So this mob was led by Lala Lajpat Rai. Now, what happened, guys? When this mob was led by Lala Lajpat Rai, and when Simon Commission they were about to enter in the main building of Lahore. So, what happened? The people they started protesting against Simon Commission under the leadership of Lala Lajpat Rai, and they started raising their voice, and they started raising the slogan Simon go back, Simon go back. Now, in order to enter the members of the Simon Commission inside the building, the SP, the Superintendent of Police of Lahore, that was James Scott. So, the SP of Lahore, that was James Scott. James Scott, he ordered lathi charge. So he ordered lathi charge to the mob and targeting Lala Lajpat Rai. And the main target of the British, you can say policeman, that was Lala Lajpat Rai. So what happened? The constable started pelting lathis on Lala Lajpat Rai and he suffered head injuries. So that was intentional. That James Scott, he said that the main person behind this is Lala Lajpat Rai. So you should beat Lala Lajpat Rai as you can. So what happened, guys? The British constables, the British police constable, they started pelting lathis on Lala Lajpat Rai, and Lala Lajpat Rai suffered head injury. So he was in fact beaten on head as well, due to which he suffered head injury. And when he suffered head injury, guys, what happened? Due to the brain hemorrhage. So when this thing happened on 30th October 1928, that happened in Lahore. Now, guys, after 17 days, that is on 17th November 1928, Lala Lajpat Rai died, and he died due to the head injury which was caused during the Lathi charge. So on 17th November 1928, what happened, my dear learners, ki death of Lala Lajpat Rai while protesting in Lahore, and he suffered head injury. So he suffered head injury, and it is said that due to brain hemorrhage, because continuous the lathis they were beaten on Lala Lajpat Rai, in fact on head as well. So due to the brain hemorrhage, finally Lala Lajpat Rai died on 17th November 1928, and then HSRA took the responsibility that on 17th December, by 17th December, just within 1 month of the death, they will take the revenge of this assassination and will kill James Scott. But by mistake, John Saunders was killed. So what happened? They wanted to take the revenge from the James Scott, who was the SP of Lahore, and he was the person who ordered lathi charge. But by mistake, the assistant superintendent of police, that was John Saunders was killed. So John Saunders was killed by mistake, although they wanted to kill James Scott, and that was did by HRA. So Hindustan Republican Association. So that was being did by HRA, Hindustan Republican Association. They wanted to take the revenge of the death of Lala Lajpat Rai. So they wanted to take the revenge of the death of Lala Lajpat Rai. So they targeted James Scott, but due to the hurry and by mistake, they killed John Saunders. Is that clear to all of you guys? Is that clear to all of you? So finally, guys, death of Lala Lajpat Rai, and finally you can say that the revenge was being taken, but by mistake they killed John Saunders, although they wanted to kill James Scott. Is that clear to all of you? I hope it is clear to all of you. Now let's come to the next thing, that is about the civil disobedience movement. Civil disobedience movement, this is also known as salt satyagrah, also known as salt satyagrah, also known as salt satyagrah, that started in 1930 and ended in 1931. Salt satyagrah. So why civil disobedience movement, which is also known as salt satyagrah, started? First of all, guys, the major cause was controversial salt law. Now, guys, what happened? The British government, in order to increase the revenue, they increased the tax on the salt. So, what happened, guys? They said that Indians were not allowed to manufacture. They were not allowed to manufacture salt. Plus, rate of tax on salt was increased. Rate of tax on salt was increased. And other than this, guys, the major cause was atrocities of police during Simon Commission. So police did heavy atrocity during Simon Commission because the public were beaten brutally, because the Indians were beaten brutally while protesting against Simon Commission. So the Indians, they were beaten brutally for the during the protest against Simon Commission, and maximum Indians were arrested as well. Were arrested as well. So maximum Indians, they were arrested as well. So maximum Indians, guys, they were arrested as well during the protest against the Simon Commission. So is that clear? I hope, guys, is that clear to all of you? That was atrocities that was did by police during the Simon Commission. Ki when the Simon Commission arrived, so the Indians who were protesting against the Simon Commission, they were beaten very brutally. And once they were beaten very brutally, guys, and maximum Indians who were protesting against Simon Commission, they were arrested by British police as well. So therefore, that was the atrocities which was did by British police during Simon Commission arrival. So that were the main reasons behind the launch of civil disobedience movement. So they were the main cause. They were the main cause behind launch of the civil disobedience movement. Now, guys, what was the nature of the movement? What was the nature? First of all, Gandhi ji, guys, started Dandi March. So Gandhi ji started Dandi March, and that started from 12 March and went up to 6 April 1930. So from 12 March to 6 April 1930, and this Dandi March started from Sabarmati Ashram and went up and ended in Dandi. Ended in Dandi. So Dandi, guys, it is in Gujarat. So both they are in Gujarat. And when Gandhi ji reached Dandi, he picked handful of salt. So when Gandhi ji reached Dandi, so when Gandhi ji reached Dandi, he picked handful of salt and broke salt law. So when he reached Dandi, guys, he picked handful of the salt and broke the salt law. So that was being did by Gandhi ji, and with him at that point of time there was a US journalist whose name was Webb Miller. So there was a journalist of USA whose name was Webb Miller. He He accompanied he accompanied Gandhiji. So he accompanied Gandhiji. That was the web mailer, and within 24 days, in within 24 days, Gandhiji covered distance of 240 miles, and this was did by foot. So this was did by Gandhiji by foot. So I hope guys, is that clear to all of you ki how this Dandi March started. Now guys, we are going to discuss the next thing that I am going to discuss is the boycott of the British goods and use of khadi. So Gandhiji always boycotted the British goods and promoted khadi. Why Gandhiji promoted khadi? Why khadi? Because it was an indigenous fabric, and you will find that ki khadi, it was a symbol of protest, symbol of self-reliance, and symbol of unity. So Gandhiji always promoted khadi because of these three reasons. So is that clear to all of you guys? Is that clear to all of you? Is that clear to all of you guys? That was about the civil disobedience movement that started in 1930, and it finally suspended, or that simply you can say ended in 1931 due to Gandhi-Irwin Pact, and ended in 1931 due to Gandhi-Irwin Pact. So that ended in 1931. That was due to Gandhi-Irwin Pact. So I hope guys, is that clear to all of you? Now I will be discussing with you the next important thing, that is about the Gandhi-Irwin Pact. So now guys, let's discuss about the Gandhi-Irwin Pact. Now first of all guys, Gandhi-Irwin Pact that was finally signed on 5th March 1931. So Gandhi-Irwin, and Irwin is Lord Irwin. So Irwin is Lord Irwin, and that was signed on 5 March 1931. So this was signed on 5 March 1931, and this was the pact which was signed between Mahatma Gandhi and Lord Irwin, and this pact was signed in Delhi. So this pact was signed in Delhi. So that was Gandhi-Irwin Pact. Now guys, what were the important provisions of this Gandhi-Irwin Pact? What was the important provisions? First of all guys, the important provision was that all the political prisoners, they will be released. So all political prisoners will be released from the will be released from jail. So all the political prisoners means those prisoners on whom there is no charge of violence. So all the political prisoners means ki those prisoners who does not have doesn't have any charge of involvement in violent activities. Those prisoners who do not have any charge of involvement in violent activities, First of all, those prisoners will be released. Other than this, the salt law will be amended. Salt law will be amended. What I mean to say by this? This means that Indians, they were, they will be allowed to manufacture salt, plus rate of tax on salt will be decreased. So rate of tax on salt will be decreased. Other than this, guys, Gandhiji will withdraw the civil disobedience movement. So it was being said that Gandhiji have to withdraw the civil disobedience movement, and Gandhiji agreed that he will withdraw the civil disobedience movement. And the third important thing was that the Gandhiji will participate in the second roundtable conference. So Gandhiji will participate in second roundtable conference. So Gandhiji will participate in second roundtable conference. RTC means roundtable conference, and that started from 7 September to 1st December 1931 in London. So Gandhiji participated in the second roundtable conference as a representative of Indian National Congress. So as a representative of Indian National Congress. So as a representative of Indian National Congress, Gandhiji will participate in second roundtable conference. Although guys, there were three roundtable conference and all the roundtable conference eventually failed. So all the three roundtable conference eventually failed. Is that clear to all of you? Is that clear, guys? So this was about the Gandhi-Irvin Pact. Now come to the next thing, that is the next important movement, that is called the Quit India movement. So now let's discuss the next important movement, which is called Quit India movement. Now guys, this Quit India movement, first of all, that started on 8th 9th August 1942. Therefore it is also known as Agast Kranti movement. So this is also known as Agast Kranti movement. So Quit India movement is also known as Agast Kranti movement. Now what was the reason to start the Quit India movement? Which were the reasons? And here I am discussing about the important reasons. So the important reasons that led to the start of Quit India movement. First of all guys, that was the failure of Scripps mission. Scripps mission came in March 1942. And Cripps mission was being chaired by, it was a one member commission that was chaired by, this was being chaired by Sir Stafford Cripps. This was being chaired by Sir Stafford Cripps. And this Cripps mission, they said that they will give dominion status and will frame the constitution of India. So this Cripps mission, just they said that India will be given dominion status and constituent assembly will be formed for Indians after Second World War. So this Cripps mission, they simply said that India will be given dominion status. Dominion status simply means, guys, to rule under British government. To rule under British government. So Indians will be given dominion status and the Constituent Assembly will be formed, but after Second World War. So when the Indians asked, when the representatives of the Congress asked Sir Stafford Cripps when this Second World War is going to end. So when this Second World War is going to end. So they do not have answer of this question when Second World War is going to end. So what you will find that the simply it was being rejected. So finally guys, it was being rejected because the British, they do not have the answer when the when this Second World War is going to end, because Second World War that started in 1939 and at that point of time it was not known when this war is going to end. So Stafford Cripps said that I do not have answer of this question. So the Congress said that immediately you should give us dominion status and after independence you should give us the Purna Swaraj. So after the Second World War is over, after Second World War is over, you should give us Purna Swaraj. So he said that that is not being decided by me. So he went out from India. Other than this, guys, there was threat of Japanese invasion. There was threat of Japanese invasion because Japanese, with the help of Japanese, Azad Hind Fauj will enter India, and it was being there that if Japanese could defeat the British, then it may be possible that now India will come under the Japanese rule. So it was being possible that if the Japanese, they defeat British in the Second World War, so they will invade India. And since Azad Hind Fauj was also getting support from the Japanese, so it was being threat that Japanese if will invade India, then it may be possible that once they are free from British, now they will come under Japan. Other than this, guys, there was price rise during Second World War, because whenever the war situation comes, the demand of the goods increases. So what happened the demand is greater than supply. So demand of goods is more and supply of goods is less. Supply of goods is less. So what you will find? You will find increase in the price. You will find increase in the, so it is like a demand pull inflation. This is like a demand pull inflation. This is like a demand pull inflation. Other than this, guys, the arrogant behavior of the British officer towards Indian soldiers. So Indian soldiers, they refused to fire on the people. When the British authorities, they said that you should also fire on Indians. So when the Indian soldiers, they refused to fire on British, you will find that after this, the British officers started behaving arrogantly when they saw that Indian soldiers, they are also fighting with the Azad Hind Fauj. So they started behaving arrogantly to the Indians. Now guys, what was the nature of this movement? Nature of this movement, how it started in July 1942. In July 1942, Congress Working Committee met at Wardha and decided that they will authorize Gandhi ji to take charge of the movement. So finally guys, what happened the Congress Working Committee, they met at Wardha. Wardha guys, it is a So they met at Wardha, it is a city in Maharashtra. So first of all guys, the Congress Working Committee met at Wardha. Wardha, it is a city in Maharashtra, and there they decided that ki Gandhi ji will take the charge of this movement. So Gandhi ji will take the charge of this Quit India movement. Now guys, what happened on 8th August 1942? Gandhi ji addressed a mob. Gandhi ji addressed a mob from Gowaria Tank Maidan. This is in Bombay. So Gowaria Tank Maidan, it is in Bombay, and gave the slogan "Do or Die." So gave the slogan "Do or Die," and this slogan was coined by Yusuf Meher Ali. So this slogan was coined by Yusuf Meher Ali. This slogan was coined by Yusuf Meher Ali, and finally Gandhi ji gave the slogan of "Do or Die," and this Gowaria Tank Maidan, it is now known as, now called August Kranti Maidan. August Kranti Maidan. And on 9th August 1942, my dear learners, Lord Linlithgow, Lord Linlithgow, who was the Viceroy of India, who was the Viceroy from 1936 to 1943. Lord Linlithgow, who was the Viceroy of India at that point of time, and he was the Viceroy from 1936 to 1943. He started Operation Zero Hour. He started Operation Zero Hour, and all important Congress leaders, they were arrested. So all the important Congress leaders, they were arrested, like Mahatma Gandhi was arrested, MK Gandhi was arrested and placed in Aga Khan Palace. Aga Khan Palace, that was in Pune. And then you will find, other than this, the next important person was, who was arrested, like Pandit Nehru. He was arrested and being placed in Anand Bhavan. Then Dr. Rajendra Prasad, he was arrested and being put in Sadakat Ashram. So he was being put in Sadakat Ashram, that is in Patna. So all the important leaders of the Congress, they were arrested. And now guys, what happened ki when all the important leaders of the Congress was arrested, there was no one to lead this movement. So when all leaders of Indian National Congress were arrested, there was no one to lead the movement. There was no one to lead the movement, therefore the movement became leaderless. Movement became leaderless, and then firing from helicopter, then to violence happened in the movement. So you will find that ki violence happened in the movement, and due to the heavy violence that happened in the movement, so firing was did from helicopter. So firing was did from helicopter by British, and again that ignited the spark in Indians. So that ignited the spark in Indians. Now guys, although this movement was suppressed by British in 1943, but this movement proved that, this movement just showed the British that their days in India is now over. So after this movement, British understood that their days in India is now over. So the British understood properly that their days in India is now over, and at any point of time they have to vacate India. So at any point of time they have to vacate India. So now they started thinking that now what we should do. So we should try to draft the constitution of India, and so that what we should do, so that we should draft the constitution, transfer the power and take the warm exit as soon as possible. So is that clear to all of you? So is that clear to all of you guys? Now let's come to the next thing. Now guys, let's come to the next thing. After this you will find that the Webel plan was there, and when the Webel plan was there, so it was an all party meeting that was being did by Lord Webel to draft a constitution, to create a constituent assembly and draft the constitution of India. Now guys, this Webel plan, when it was being introduced by Lord Webel, so after this you will find Webel plan. After this Webel plan was introduced, and this was being introduced in 1945, that was being did by Lord Webel, and he was the viceroy from 1943 to 1947. And this Webel plan, it was all party meeting to all party meeting for formation of constituent assembly, for the formation of constituent assembly to draft the constitution of India. So it was did for the formation of the constituent assembly to draft the constitution of India. Now guys, when this was being done, so the main problem was created by Muslim League. Muslim League simply they said that all the members in the constituent assembly who will be Muslim, they will come from Muslim League. So Muslim League said that all, so the Muslim League said that members of drafting committee, members of, sorry, constituent assembly. So Muslim members of constituent assembly will come from Muslim League. So he simply said that the Muslim members of Muslim members in constituent assembly, Muslim members in constituent assembly will come from Muslim League. When this statement was given by Muslim League, that was being given by Mr. Muhammad Ali Jinnah before Lord Webel. So what happened guys, the Congress leaders, especially Maulana Azad, other than this Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, and other than this you will find Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan, they objected. They said that you are representative of Muslim League. Do not try to portray yourself as the representative of the whole Muslims of India, because in Congress there are Muslim leaders and they are happy over there. So do not try to portray yourself as the head of the Muslim League. So as the head of the Muslims of India, do not try to portray yourself. So finally guys, this was the objection was being did by Congress. So the Congress objected, and due to the, you can say, due to the tussle between the Congress and the Muslim League, so objected. INC objected over this statement, and you will find that when INC objected, he simply said that Indian National Congress simply said that this is not practically possible. You are representative of Muslims of your party. Do not try to portray yourself as the representative of whole Muslim community. So when this thing was being did, finally there was no consensus was developed between Muslim League and Indian National Congress, and finally Lord Webel have to call off the meeting. So Lord Webel call off the meeting. Other than this, you will find that after this, you will find that formation of interim government was did, and then cabinet mission plan came for the formation of the constituent assembly, and with the effort of cabinet mission plan, the constituent assembly of India was being formed. Now guys, after this you will find that ki cabinet mission initially rejected the demand of partition of India. So that was not being acceptable by Muslim League. So finally guys, Muslim League what they did, so Gandhiji requested Muhammad Ali Jinnah to get in the interim government so that a good government can be formed. Now five leaders from the Muslim League, they joined the interim government, and when the interim government started working, so they started creating problems for working of the interim government, and the main objective of this was to disturb the government from inside, and so that Pandit Nehru himself should say that partition is only the solution. So finally guys, what happened ki after this after this Pandit Nehru wrote a letter to Clement Attlee. Clement Attlee was the British Prime Minister at that point of time, and he said that the interest of Hindus and Muslims, they are different, we cannot rule together. So when this thing was being taken care of, so Clement Attlee replied the letter. He will say that India will be free by 1948, so we will try to make India free by 1948, and there will be arrival of a new viceroy. So Lord Wavell will go, and on place of him Lord Mountbatten will come. So on the place of him Lord Mountbatten will come. So now guys, what happened ki on 22nd March 1947, Lord Mountbatten arrived India and started meeting with Indian leaders and finally proposed 3rd June plan, and finally proposed 3rd June plan. And what was the 3rd June plan? Because it was presented by Lord Mountbatten on 3rd June 1947, that is, therefore it is called 3rd June plan. It was presented by Lord Mountbatten on 3rd June 1947, therefore it is called 3rd June plan. Now what was the important plan? So it was, the plan was on 15th August 1947 India will be free. So on 15th August 1947 India will be free. Princely states, they may join India, they may join Pakistan, or can remain independent. So the princely states, they may join India, they may join Pakistan, or they may remain independent. Other than this, Boundary Commission will be constituted under the leadership of Sir Cyril Redcliffe to decide the boundary between India and Pakistan. So a boundary commission will be constituted under leadership of Sir Cyril Redcliffe, and they will decide the border land boundary between India and Pakistan, and referendum will be did in Northeast Frontier Province, because the leader of Northeast Frontier Province was Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan. He wanted to merge with India, but the population was maximum Muslim, so they wanted to merge with Pakistan. So the population wanted to merge with Pakistan, but Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan, who is also known as Frontier Gandhi, wanted to merge with India. So that was being taken care of. Now guys, what happened ki these were the important point of 3rd June plan that was proposed by Lord Mountbatten. Now on 18th July 1947, so on 18th July 1947, the British Parliament passed this 3rd June plan as an Indian Independence Act 1947, and that has to be implemented on 14th-15th August 1947, and on 14th August 1947 Pakistan was created as a dominion, and on 14th August midnight, 14th August midnight, that is 00 hours, when 14th August midnight, that is 00 hours, India was created as an independent dominion. So India and Pakistan, they were created as an independent dominion. And Pakistan, head of the Pakistan became, the Governor General of Pakistan became, Muhammad Ali Jinnah. and for India it was Lord Mountbatten. Lord Mountbatten became the first Governor General of independent India. First Governor General of independent India. So this is how, guys, India and Pakistan, they became the two separate dominions on 14th and 15th August respectively. So 14th August Pakistan became an independent dominion and the Governor General became Muhammad Ali Jinnah, who was also known as Qaid-e-Azam. Qaid-e-Azam means great leader. And on 14th August midnight, that is 00 hours, India became an independent dominion and Pandit Nehru hosted the national flag from Red Fort, Delhi, and then gave a very famous speech that is called Trust with Destiny. So gave a very famous speech that is called Trust of Destiny, in which he said that when the whole world sleeps, India will awake to life and freedom. So this is how, guys, India and Pakistan, they were created as a two independent dominions. So guys, with this, the section of the modern India that gets completed. So the section of the modern India that gets completed. So we discussed ancient India, medieval India, followed by modern India for the crash course. So that was all for the day. Let's meet in the next session.